Jereme, Kevin, nice to meet you guys. I mean, we met you at the show in Tulsa, and you talked about this event. We honestly hadn't heard of it until, what was that, a few months ago?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to actually come out to one and see, well, what we've been missing.
Right.
It's been fun. But before we get into the event and all that, just some background on you guys, since we've had some short conversations and meeting. But so how? Well, first of all, there's more than just you two, right?
Correct. Yeah, there's 4 of us, 4 team members that are co-owners and co-founders of Shot 3D. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So there's myself, Kevin Holliday. I'm from Northeast Texas. We've got Tim Gregg from Hugo, Oklahoma, has his home archery range, and then we have Jeremy Budgick and Brian Thomas, both from the Tulsa area. The 4 of us came together and formed it.
Okay. So have you guys known each other since you were kids, or
No,
just?
it's a long story, really, that I can try and make it short. But I was attending an attack event down in Broken Bow and met Tim Gregg, the rogue archer, through one of his novelty shots that he was set up as at the attack event. And we were running a 3D shoot in Chelsea, Oklahoma, called Odd Vein Out Archery. And he had a really cool novelty shot that we really liked. So I got on the phone, called him, and asked him if we could run that novelty shot at Odd Vein Out out of a courtesy. It was just a courtesy call. Hey, Tim, we want to run this Gone in 60 Seconds novelty shot at Odd Vein Out. Do you mind? He's like, yeah, go ahead. And we got to talking, and I shared one of my visions with him of putting 2 to 3 archery ranges together to form a big archery event. And he's like, man, I've had that idea with Kevin here. We've been talking about that already. We would love to join with you guys and do that. So that's what kind of really started it. What we wanted to do was recreate the atmosphere and environment that we felt at a Total Archery event, more localized here in Oklahoma and more frequently in Oklahoma to shoot more archery. Like, we just wanted to do that more and offer that to more people more often.
So have you guys been archers since you were kids? Just the love of archery brought you to this, or?
I've been shooting a bow since about 2001, but I would not consider myself an archer. Really, I mean, even a hardcore bow hunter until about 2012, and then 3D introduced to me in about maybe 2018, 2019. I don't even know the exact date, but that first TAC event for me was like, holy cow! Like, this is legit. This is fun. This is what archery is about. Like, it's not just me in my backyard shooting at a square block.
Yeah.
And left there, like Jeremy said, it was inspiration. It was like, man, I want to do that again. But Total Archery Challenge, they're gone until next year. So it's either travel or figure out an alternative. And it landed on us. It wasn't a lifelong dream. We kind of came together with the same idea and just started, pitching ideas around to expand it and grow it and find more ways to include that fun in our lives and bring it to others as well. And it's turned into this really fast.
Now that it's turned into this, and the 4 of you, do you hunt together now quite a bit, or do you get that opportunity?
We really haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to do that. We went on one, I guess,
Guys
team
trip.
meeting / let's go hunting while we're also having a team meeting.
Well, when we first met you, you were fixing to roll out to
Arizona.
Coos deer hunt.
Yeah, Coos deer in Arizona. That was planned long before we even met. That hunt was planned. So that was me and Brian. We went on a Coos deer Arizona hunt. We do that every year. That's one of our traditions that we have set aside as lifetime buddies. We just always go to Arizona every year and chase Coos deer. Not very good. The weather was pretty horrible. I made one good stalk and got busted by a spike. Brian made a decent stalk on one and ended up chasing the wrong deer he was after. But we spent, I think, a total of 72 hours curled up in a tent waiting out a 45-mile-an-hour windstorm and snowstorm while we were there.
I started to say, you got socked in pretty hard.
Yeah, we got socked in pretty good. And but for us, we set aside that time to go to Arizona, not just for the hunt, but that's our camaraderie and our time that me and Brian get to spend. No matter what, every year we're going to Arizona. Whether it's a good hunt or just a good time, we're going to do it. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
So that's our time that we set aside for each other. And we also do Nebraska mule deer hunts. And we would like to, as a shot team, hunt more together. We're just like trying to figure out our spare time to be able to do that.
I feel you.
Oh, yeah.
It's a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
So you archery hunt only, or do you gun hunt also?
I haven't pulled the trigger on a gun other than coyote hunting in a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you grow up shooting a bow, or get into it later?
Not really. I started bow hunting when I met Brian in my early 20s. So I think 2004 is when I started bow hunting. He actually got me introduced to archery hunting. I had a bow when I was a kid, but I really wasn't that serious about it.
Yeah.
When I was younger than 20s, I chased turkeys, and I was a big waterfowler too. I chased mallards, in the swamps. But Brian's the one who introduced me to archery, and he's not a very good teacher. He taught me some bad lessons. And I think I teach him now. But no, he introduced me in 2004 and bought a Hoyt. I think it was an Ultra Mag as my first bow, and I had it for like 7 or 8 years. Shot the tar out of that bow, and introduced me to 3D. That's when I became serious archer.
Yeah. Well, archery, and especially, having events like this, people who, so there's such a diversity. And even in our crew, Shane grew up, I think, with a bow in his hand from the time he could walk. Matt, probably the same.
Yeah.
Dusty and Callahan, I was the late bloomer, if you will. I had a bow sometime after high school. I just went to a pawn shop with a buddy because he introduced me to hunting, and it was like, well, we can't do anything right now but bow hunt. So I went to the pawn shop, bought one. I couldn't tell you back then the arrows I had, the length, didn't know anything about draw length.
Yeah.
Or
Well, one thing we know is they were Easton, they were aluminum, probably XX75 type. Every time you shot them, they were bent or dented.
Right.
Yeah.
Narrow options back then.
But it was fun to shoot. I got good with what I had. Didn't, just adjusted the pins, but I wasn't educated in archery. What I had, shot, and got good with what I had. And we run into so many like old timers who they're the same way. They shoot the same bow for so long. They're so good. And it's like, if you can hit where you're aiming,
Right.
that's all that matters.
Right.
Yeah, I tell you, there's a difference though. I have not shot hardly any 3D archery, and coming out here today, there's a big difference between being practically accurate.
Yeah.
Hunting. I need to hit them in the good stuff, the soft stuff, and then trying to shoot 12s out here.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
Huge deal. I mean, it's a new appreciation for me watching the precision of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I say Brian wasn't a good teacher earlier. Like, Brian's the guy that he used to pick up his bow, in September, go out, shoot 5 or 6 arrows, and if he could hit a pie plate at 40, he's calling it good,
Right.
and he's going hunting.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Making sure it's still sighted in
You're right.
from last year.
Right.
Make sure it didn't move.
Yeah.
That's what he taught me, and then I'm the more technical guy, so I dive down the rabbit hole. Like, I want to know the arrow weight, the grain, the length. I get into the details, and we balance each other really out a lot that way. And
Where do you fall in that, Kevin?
I am absolutely a nerd on it, and I love the arrow building, the technical side, the bows, the tuning, and love helping other people get involved with it. So I actually work
all the stuff that the pie plate at 40 yards guys don't care about.
Well, it's not even about that. It's not about where you're hitting, but getting the bow to be its best, and then work on the shoot. I'm not a coach by any stretch, but I like the equipment, and I like introducing. So I actually work weekends at a local archery shop.
Oh, nice.
Just
Okay.
as I've done it for the last couple of years, and I'm not on staff necessarily. I do it because I love it. Like, I love helping the customers come in and look at new product and setting it up and getting them involved. I love getting the customer behind the counter and showing them the whys and showing them what we're doing and why. And I'm super nerdy on the technical side. I love arrow building and different things that go along with that. I love bow tuning.
Well, as the guy on the other side of the counter, I can appreciate that kind of help and education. I ended up giving up bow hunting because it was just public ground and the frustration. And then when we started the show, got into archery again, and having that group of guys around that know what they're doing and help you, coach you along, I don't think you can get that by yourself. You can, because you don't know what you don't know, so you get good at what you have, but you don't realize how much better you can be. And then, having events and a community of archers like this, and we've met, I don't know how many people just out shooting this morning, and it was, every one of them was 100% just nice, helpful. I was really surprised. I don't know why, but there's a huge age range. I kind of thought it was going to be an older crowd for whatever reason, but man, there's a lot of younger kids and look like 20s and 30s out here, which is awesome. That's our future, right? Mm-hmm. So the fact that there's that many younger kids out shooting, it sucks that I'm old enough that 30-year-old's a kid.
Right.
But,
No, that's the truth. Yeah. We're all in the same boat here on that.
Yeah.
You said it right, though. It's a community, like the archery community. It's so weird. We all come from such different backgrounds. When we're away from here, we're completely different people, different backgrounds, whatever. And when we come into 3D archery, it still blows my mind. You can go to a big event like this and you have something like severely in common with everybody that's here. It's just an instant connection. I still don't understand how that is, because there are a lot of the other things in life that are not that way, that don't turn into that kind of community. And archery really is a family and a community that's very common.
I've kind of found that to be true since I started bow hunting. The bow hunter, the effort, the work that we put into our trade, you can't just grab the gun out of the closet and go get within 200 yards of them and put them down with the bow. And it's a lot of preparation. You see the type of personalities that they do love the details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously nothing against gun hunting, because we do that, right?
Yeah, sure.
Savage is one of our big sponsors, and we love shooting, but there is that very personal aspect of archery that you can't take my bow that's set up for me and go shoot it. And while there are specialty rifles that these guys run, for the most part, I can take my rifle, go make sure it's sighted in, and then grab my kids and take them to go hunt with a rifle that I sighted in.
Right.
So maybe there's that part of it that every one of these people out here are
personally
they have
connected.
that really close connection with archery, and that we all share that together, and there's that understanding that just draws everybody closer, I think.
Yeah. And you always want the guy next to you that you're shooting with, and it could be somebody that you have just randomly grouped with on a course. You both want the other to do well. It's not. It's the buddies don't. There's money on the table sometimes and a lot of ribbing, but you can get connected with somebody right here on the practice range or on a course that you've never met before, and you're instantly shooting together, having a good time, and wanting the other person to do well. It's not.
Well,
it is
because
a competition, but it's not.
When they are doing well, especially on a couple of these courses are pretty intense and technical, and where you guys hide the targets through the limbs, and so you know that if that guy next to you is doing well, you know what went into that. Yeah. Right? I mean, I made some great shots, but it was sporadic. So someone who can consistently shoot very well, as an archer how much they put into that, because I don't think there are many people in history that can just pick up a bow and be great consistently.
Well, I mean, few of them, but they're at the top of the game.
Yeah.
They're the freaks of nature. But so you guys were shooting TAC events.
Yeah.
Total Archery Challenge.
Yeah, sure, we love TAC.
And
it's the greatest thing on earth, man.
You're going to TAC, but it's not something you can do regularly. Because
I can't afford to do it regularly. I can't go to Utah and Montana and all these. I can't travel around and follow them around and support my family at home. I would love to if I could.
Yeah, but that's where this started.
That's kind of what. Yeah,
we
wanted to do more of that, and what better way than just doing it yourself to start it up.
So what did you guys do for a living? What were your professions? Are you doing this full time?
No,
archery?
Not yet.
No.
No. I work in the oil field
Okay.
full time. I'm an inventory manager for Halliburton,
Okay.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I've
Kevin?
worked for Chevrolet as a technician for about 24 years. I work on cars for a living.
Okay.
Tim
Okay.
is in the food sanitation business.
Like a janitor.
Food safety.
No, food safety, like sanitary safety.
Okay.
Right. Sorry, Tim, if I got that wrong. That's the way I understand it. And Brian is also in the oil field business. We actually work at the same place in Halliburton in Tulsa.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what our 9 to 5 is. We squeeze this in every second of our free time, pretty much.
So what?
5
How many?
to midnight during the week.
Is this the first or second year of?
Well, we had a pilot event last year at
Okay.
Hugo, Oklahoma in August. It was 110 degrees. We slapped that together in 5 or 6 weeks of us coming together. It was put together really quickly with very little advertising, and we had right at 300 shooters show up.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that showed us, like, there's a need for this. There's a want for it. There's a desire for people to do this, even if it's, hot, miserable outside, and it was. And it was last minute, so to speak. We felt like if we had some time to advertise and really put an event together, we could put 4 or 5 of these together in a year, and that's probably as many as we could do with the full-time jobs that we have, and be pretty successful at it, and have a good crowd come out. And so far, it's been showing
Yeah.
us that
And
too.
I would say that it's turned out that way. At your last event, you had almost 500
Almost
shooters
500,
at Mohawk in
yeah.
Tulsa.
That's incredible, especially for basically the first year to have a good turnouts like
First
this.
official event of the first official season.
And
Yeah.
you guys have done it.
It almost looks like we know what we're doing.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
I didn't want to give you that much credit, but almost. It almost seems like you know what you're doing.
so it's not for those that haven't come to one of these that are going to be looking into it. It's not. You don't come to this as a competition with everybody else here, right?
Right.
It's you can shoot just totally for fun, or you can shoot against the group you're with. There are certain challenges on the course and here on the range.
Yeah, I'd like to drive that home really well. This is something that I would like, people to understand about SHOT, the 3D experience, is it's no intimidation factor.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of guys out there, and I used to be one, that looked at any kind of 3D event and had some type of intimidation about it, like I might not shoot as good as the next guy next to me, and I don't want to make myself look bad, or there's some intimidation about it.
Yeah.
This is no intimidation. You don't have to keep score. Most people do not keep score. You can if you want to. It's not a competition. It's at your own pace. You can shoot any course you want to at any time you want to. It's a day pass format. So you guys came off the course. Was it an intimidation from a competition standpoint at all? Like,
No, we made it a competition between ourselves. We do that with everything.
Yeah.
It was an absolute blast. I couldn't stand you guys for how many limbs you put in front of my
Good. We succeeded
targets
then.
that I had to shoot around. It
But
was a
we
great.
We did start though on are all the courses. Well, how many are there? 4 or 5?
we have 5 courses. 4 of those are compound only, or compound courses, and we have 1 that's a traditional only course.
Oh,
So if you're a
okay.
trad shooter, we do have a course that only trad shooters can shoot. So there's 5 total, but if you're a compound shooter, you can only shoot 4.
Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
And we went to one of the more difficult ones.
Sure, you did.
And we did it because you guys recommended it. You loved that course when you set it up, and we could tell you wanted us to go shoot it, and we did. It was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
You did a great job setting it up. Because every single time you got to the cone, you were like, got to squeeze it through there.
Yeah,
20
were-
shots in a row,
There was a
right?
few that were
Blast.
wide open,
Yeah.
but for the most part,
Yeah, well, the one that was wide open was sitting at 80.
yeah, there's that one.
But
That arrow's still out there somewhere.
if you can't shoot at 80, there's a course here for everybody. There's a great place for you to come out here and practice and warm up. It's not like you're just chomping into the woods and there's a 120-yard buffalo sitting out there.
Yeah, and there's another thing that's hard for us to advertise and to the masses at least, is that cone that we set out there is the design shot that we take a look at it and it's like, this looks cool. And it might be 80 yards. But you don't have to shoot it from the cone. If you don't have an 80-yard, dial, or you're not comfortable shooting 80 yards, you can walk from the cone straight to the target and get at 50 and take that shot if you want to. It's not a competition, so you don't have to touch the stake. You don't have to shoot from the stake. We encourage dads or moms to take their kids out there, and they can shoot behind their parents. Parent, take the 80-yard shot, walk your kid up to 20, take that same shot, and get the kids involved. We have a lot of people who do that.
Yeah. It's
hard for us to advertise that or communicate that to the masses. We try our best, but we get that question a lot. What if I don't have an 80-yard pin? Well, don't take an 80-yard shot. Walk up and take a 60 or a 50.
Yeah, there's no sanctions here.
Or aim high, yeah.
Yeah,
aim high. Yours an adjustable is Matt's?
Well, he's got a third pin floater.
Okay, and so I'm the only one that's got just 5 fixed pins.
Straight
So yeah,
pins.
anything past 60, and it was just a total guess.
Yeah.
Which cost me a couple arrows, but that's the fun part. It's as much of a challenge as you want it to be.
What was it that cost the other couple arrows?
Rock, a tree.
Details.
Hey, the only one that was totally blown up was that one with the leopard.
The leopard on
Uphill.
log,
Yeah.
Right in front of the rock.
Yeah, he got right over the top of the leopard.
I heard about
just
it.
blew up that rock.
Smoked the rock.
I actually was thinking about him when I set that target up. Like, this would be really good.
Well, and then on the course we were on too, there was a challenge.
Yeah,
on one of them.
We have an on-course novelty shot. Kevin, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, so it's designed to be a surprise shot. The idea here was to build some anticipation and excitement with the crowd, the customer, when they come in to find this on-course novelty shot, like to not advertise where it's going to be at each event. We randomly place it out. It is an additional shot on the course, not part of the 20. And it's a chance for you to break away. And what it is, we've got a special mule deer that we put out, an Earn It mule deer, that we set up in a really challenging situation, and an opportunity to win a one-off t-shirt that you cannot purchase outside of making this shot. So the idea is to create some excitement with that, get some buzz going around base camp. People try to find out what course is the Earn It buck on at this event, and then they're texting their buddies, hey, I found it, and they're looking for that to win that shirt that you can't buy, a tour shirt that you can't buy.
Okay, so there's not one on every course.
There is not. It will be on one course at each event, and we'll float it, and we won't advertise it, and we'll move it different places. It will be a tough shot.
So like
every
tomorrow,
time.
will it be on a different course? Or
It'll stay here for this event, just because of the difficulty of moving things like that after dark and getting creative.
Well, I did not get the T-shirt.
Did not get the t-shirt. Do you got to try again then?
There's a limb. Well, there's
Right
two
in
of
the
them,
way.
but there's one good limb about the size of my wrist, and my
smoke
arrow is sticking directly through that limb.
Great.
Got about
We did that
5
on
or
purpose.
6 inches of penetration on it, and it's a souvenir that'll stay. You guys can pull it if you want.
So for those that may not know, what's a novelty shot?
So a novelty shot is an extra shot that you can pay to play to win prizes. So that's something that our sponsors, dip in and give us product to give away. Like these guys over here to my left and your right are shooting to win a side-by-side at the end of the year. So it's like one novelty ticket per arrow on most of the novelty shots, and we have several different novelty shots available. But it's a
So
chance
you pay $5.
Pay
you
$5,
get a shot.
get a shot.
Or if you want, you could pay $100 and get 30 shots.
Correct.
Okay, and then if I shoot this buffalo down here in the 12 from 106 yards away, I get a chance to win a
entry.
side-by-side at the end of
You're
the year.
entered to win a side-by-side at the end of the year. On that particular novelty shot, you're also entered to win a PSE Omen at the end of the event.
Okay,
So it's a double
For the
drop.
same
so that's
shot.
a winner
Okay.
of this. The PSE is a winner of this event, and then those who hit it are also all in for all the events. And then is that a random draw?
Random draw at the end of the year at our blowout event at Mulberry Mountain in Arkansas.
We'll do something creative with that giveaway to hype it up and make it fun for everybody, but it will be the collective pool of everyone through every event.
Well,
We've got
I'll
a PSE bow for every event. a different PSE bow at every event to give away, and again, it's with the same novelty shot. Now that one is 3 tickets per shot. It's the one, like Jeremy said, most of our novelties are 1 ticket per shot. This one is 3 because you're in for a bow and a Polaris at the end of the season.
But you know, even if you come out here and spend the $100
Yeah.
and shoot the 30 shots, if you win, you may have just bought yourself a side-by-side
Yeah.
and a bow for $100.
Awesome
Correct.
prize.
Yeah.
That's absolutely awesome.
Yep.
A lot better odds than the lottery, that's for sure.
Well,
lot better.
and you were saying right now that's actually hit the 12 ring and is in the drawing for the side-by-side. You got maybe, what, 7, 8, 10 guys?
I think it's below 10, unless that numbers came up since we talked 15 minutes ago. But yeah, we're under 10 right now, so the odds are pretty good.
So you're going to have a 1 and you got, what, 3 more shows left for the year? So, you know, there's a
maybe
good
1 in
chance you're going to
50.
have a 1 in 50 chance to
Yeah.
win a side-by-side?
Well, is the bow a random draw of everyone that hits a 12 ring at this event?
Correct,
Or do
yeah.
they have a shoot off?
No. It'll be a random draw
Okay.
of some kind. We'll do something to select randomly out of that. It will not be a competition after that, though,
I got you.
It's just an entry to have a chance for the bow. So if we have 20 entries today, fantastic. If we have 2 entries today, you got a 50% chance,
Very nice, yeah.
for the bow. So
Yeah.
How far is that target?
106
106
every
to the
event.
Buffalo.
Wow.
A little bit of crosswind today.
Yeah.
Maybe not tomorrow morning.
Maybe not tomorrow morning.
There was guys shooting it this morning. It was almost dead calm, and they were dancing all around it. Yeah.
Really?
A couple guys got in it this morning. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've seen a couple of guys bounce all around it even in this wind this
Yeah.
afternoon.
Adam, I was just watching him a minute ago. He was like less than an inch away from it.
Oh.
All in that blue ring,
And it's-
just not inside it.
Yeah.
And
And
for-
then aside from that, you've got stuff out here for the kids to do novelty
That's
shots.
my favorite part of this whole event. Is
Yeah, I
the
like
kids.
the zombie.
I've been hearing this metal buffalo over here just destroy arrows
Yeah, we
one
got-
right after the next.
We've got the Iron Buffalo. We've got the zombie over there for the kids, and this is truly my favorite part of the event is getting the kids involved. And all they have to do is play the game. They don't even have to hit the zombie, but we usually will sit there and work with them until they hit it. But they're shooting a PSE recurve takedown bow, and as long as they play, they're entered to win a PSE takedown recurve at the end of this event.
Oh, really?
Every event, we're giving a PSE takedown to a kid just
Love
for
it.
playing. Like, we just want to get them out there and shoot. So if they don't have a bow, they can shoot one here because we have one for them to shoot. And some kid's going to walk away with one.
I can't stress it enough as a dad with kids. If, to have an event where you can bring your kids, because, a lot of times we hunt as grown-ups and our kids are just a small part of that when we, frankly, make time to take them. But to be able to come to an event that's got a lot of things geared for the kids, to get them excited about archery.
Absolutely. It's in our DNA. Like, all of us are fathers. We formed SHOT. SHOT stands for Shooting, Hunting, Outdoors, and Tradition. And that
Okay.
tradition part is from the fatherly atmosphere. Bringing our kids. They're the next generation, right?
Passing
if,
it
If
on.
we don't pass that on to them, then all this dies after us, right? So it's my favorite part of the events.
It's
Is interacting with the kids.
Well, this has been absolutely awesome. We will definitely be at more of these events. They're put together great. They run smoothly
Appreciate
so
that.
far, knock on wood, for you guys. Hope everything continues to be as great as it's been. Hopefully you'll get a little less wind in one of these days.
Yeah.
It is, but again, it's not an indoor shoot, so
Right.
you're open to the elements. It's either for fun or coming out and doing these events throughout the summer to stay ready for fall. And like the course we were on, especially is so much like if you were out doing a spot and stock elk hunt or something like that in the timber, some of the wide open stuff. It's realistic, So when the wind picks up, there are places where it's south wind today, but just like hunting in the mountains, there's some of those targets it's hitting you in the back, it's hitting you in the side of the head. It's
Yeah.
up and down. The wind picks up.
That elk's not going to wait till it ain't windy.
That's
No.
right. That's
No.
right. Everybody's got to deal with it, and
So when it rains, obviously if it's storming, shut it down for lightning and stuff. But if there's a light wind, rain,
we're shooting.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
targets are up. They're
Yeah.
not leaving.
Yeah.
So you got the
Just
option
like
to
a
shoot.
real hunt. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, last year at Broken Bow at TAC, for instance, the only day I was allowed to shoot because I was working a booth at Broken Bow, so I shot Friday morning. We shot the Sitka course, which is the island where they boat you out to the island to shoot the course. Pouring down rain, had my rain gear in my pack, dressed up in my rain gear, and we were sliding down in the mud, shooting in the rain. And I just told the group I was with, look, if you got a sheep tag in your pocket, this is awesome.
This
so
is
just
what-
pretend like you've got a sheep tag in your
This
pocket.
is what we would be doing
Yes,
with that tag
this
in our
is hunting.
pocket. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
well, it's great.
Exactly.
Not just because you guys are based out of Oklahoma and most of your events are here. That helps because that's where we're from. But meeting you guys and then coming out and actually seeing how it's run, the way the we'll call them customers are treated. Went to grab an energy drink from the first forum booth, and they weren't even charging. It was just to have the partners that you guys have in your first year.
It's amazing.
It speaks a lot about you guys because we understand when you make that call or you meet that company for the first time and you've got that ask. A lot of it has to do with how they feel about you guys as a person or as people, and to have these list of companies stand behind this event, they're standing behind you guys.
Yeah.
And seeing that is something that we definitely appreciate, we respect it, and look forward to making as many events as we can, and anything that we can do to help you guys and promote it, we'll 100% be behind you guys. This is great. And I also really appreciate the fact that you guys don't shy away from talking about other archery events, talking about TAC and stuff. I mean, it is.
Yeah, we want to grow the sport.
Yeah.
Amen. That's what it's
That's
about.
the mission, right?
Yeah.
And I shoot ASA. I love shooting ASA. I love shooting TAC. I was inspired by a Total Archery Challenge. When I left my very first Total Archery Challenge, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I want to do more of it. And I bought my first 3D target to throw behind my house after a TAC event so I could start shooting more 3D stuff behind my house. And that grew into running a little home range called Odd Vein Out Archery. If you're in Northeast Oklahoma, you probably heard of us. That grew into the connection with Tim and Kevin, and grew into shot, and it's just growing from there. And I want to grow the sport. And I will say this: in Oklahoma, over the past 4 years, it's went from almost dead to archery's on fire right now in Oklahoma.
Yeah, you can feel it.
You could
You can feel it,
could go
especially in
to
these events.
3 or 4 different archery events on any given weekend in Oklahoma right now.
For sure.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
And if you're out there and there's a TAC event going on close to you, go get it.
go do it. It's fun.
amazing.
You will not.
It
You will not be
spawned-
disappointed.
It
right?
spawned what we're sitting here talking about now. And if you're out in Oklahoma and you've got a chance to go shoot one of these from somebody who's at their first one, it's amazing. It's a blast. And then I guess if you're up around Chelsea and you want to get in on Odd Vein Out Archery on a weekend shoot, go get it done.
Yeah, we do some weekend stuff. I'm a little bit slow until we stop doing shot events, but then I'll ramp it up over the summer. But we just want to grow the sport for the love of archery. That's what we're about.
Well, that's awesome.
So how do they website shot the 3D challenge?
It is www.shot3dx.com.
Okay.
Is our website. We've got Facebook and Instagram going as well. Just search Shot the 3D Experience.
Yeah.
That's where you'll find the website, and the Facebook page is where you will find basically all news. The website is where you can register and look at a lot of details, see all
Find
of our
out where the
sponsors.
events are.
Sure. Yeah,
So
find
there's-
our schedule on the website, find our schedule on the Facebook page. We just stay on top of that and keep communication very open on that.
And if they want to go to an event, it shows where it is. Can they register for that event online?
Yes, so at the website, shot3dx.com, they can register for individual events all the way up till about a week before the event. We'll cut pre-registration off, but you can still pay at the gate, show up and still shoot. We do that so we can print off a list and have something
Sure.
ready on paper. As we head out several days early to start setup, we have that pre-registration list. But yes, they can still do that, and it's for every event. So we still have 3 events open right now for pre-registration that people can get online right now and start getting their passes. As of right now, we don't have knock times. We don't have a sellout point. We don't have that problem yet. So not to say that we won't have those issues later on down the road, but that's a big draw right now is we don't have a cutoff, and that allows you to show up the day of and still get in. We're not going to turn you away just because you didn't pre-register on time.
I love it. Yeah, I guess the only really, it's once you're here, it starts at, a gate opens at 7
a.m.
And once they get here, they're welcome to start shooting. And then at 5 o'clock p.m., that's the cutoff to start a course.
Correct. You can start shooting as late as 5 p.m. on Saturday and as late as 3 p.m. on Sunday. That doesn't mean you can't be out on a course at 5 shooting, but you can't start a course
Right,
after 5.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it took us, a good 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
3 hours to shoot that course.
Yeah.
And I assume there's one other one that's
A little bit
harder, longer shots,
Yep.
and a longer walking course. I mean, it was a
Correct.
good physical fun too. It wasn't. I think pretty much anybody could have done the course that we did. I don't know what the bigger one's like, but I don't think that most people aren't going to have any issue if you're out of shape. There's so much to do here,
Right.
and we talked about the vendors with drinks, and there's food, but there's also stuff to buy here if you want to spend money. Is there an archery tech
So
here?
we have 2 archery shops actually here set up on site at every single event to sell product, work on bows.
Yeah, and you don't have to be. Coincidentally, I showed up with a whole new set of arrows than what I've been shooting. So, the first half hour we set up, and I had to start at 20 and
Yep.
adjust my pins out to 60 before we started shooting. So, don't feel like you've got to be already an expert to walk through the gate.
Right.
Come talk to these guys, ask
We'll
their
get you
opinion,
set
get
up,
their
yeah.
help.
Yeah. And
Very
I think we've got time to go shoot at least one more. We
need
can
some
hit a short
redemption.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Redemption
had
course.
Matt smoked us. I've got the results here.
Do
for
we
the-
even want to know?
I
he
do.
put it on us.
You may not want to know.
No, I know I don't want to know. I know.
We had
I shot better than you, but somehow lost. That don't even make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
Shane shot a respectable 128 out of 240. So if you get 12 on all targets,
That'd be
that'd be 240.
Yeah.
There are some with a 14 ring,
Yeah,
right?
you got to call that, man.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, you can't hit it by accident and get a 14.
He did.
Trust me, you
he
can.
Did. He can.
I came in at 143 after I don't know how many blanks and lost arrows, and then Matt smoked us at 156. I'd like to say he got lucky, but he's just good.
Yeah.
I would say me beating Shane was a good bit of luck, but that's
The biggest story of the day, though.
I
that's
kept
right.
going. I kept
I'd
going
rather be
for
lucky
broke.
than good any day.
I kept going for broke and coming up empty. And I was, if you're not first, you're last.
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. So,
So-
I guess you guys selling arrows here?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
both vendors sell arrows, cut arrows, set you up. They sell bows, work on bows. They've got everything. So when you run out of our arrows, we've got guys ready.
Well,
There's no excuse. Oh, I've only got 3 arrows. There's no excuse
Yeah,
for that.
I brought 2 dozen, and by the end of the day tomorrow, I may be buying more.
Buy some more arrows. There's nothing
I just
wrong
can't
with that.
say no. It's
Yeah.
80 yards with a 60-yard pin, but why not?
Man,
Yeah.
we're here to have fun. That's the end of the day. We're here to have fun and be inclusive and build the sport in a positive way, not in a competitive way that drives people out. It's to build the sport and just have fun.
Yes.
One thing he didn't bring up either on the course is, talking about shooting from the cone and this being the shot. I encourage people to take multiple shots too. If you didn't like that first shot, send another arrow. Nobody's going to get in trouble for that. Nobody's going to get onto you or discourage that. Send another shot. We're here to have fun. I don't. If you don't have a group behind you, backed up behind you, waiting on you, I don't care if you shoot your whole quiver at the same target. We're here to have fun. You can't multiply those scores on your scorecard and pretend it counts at the end of the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind then. Never mind then.
yeah,
I
not,
could've
it's
got-
not even worth it now, right?
I wish I could take those back. Well, guys, I again appreciate it. Love what you guys are doing. Can't wait to see the growth of it. And like I said, we'll be coming to these events as many as we can and supporting you guys and spreading the word. It's been awesome, and we're gonna go try one of the shorter kids courses. Maybe we need to shoot the recurve course.
They got a kiddie zone right over there we can put you on. I do have one thing I'd like to say before we get off the podcast, and it's a chance for a giveaway that you don't even have to be present to win, and that's on our newsletter on our website. So if
Okay.
you go to www.shot3dx.com, and if you just sign up for our newsletter, we're giving away a Bear Persist bow, brand new, totally decked out with Trophy Ridge equipment on it. So all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter to be entered for that. So
Well, you guys have started this off. I mean, you set the bar pretty high. And I mean, the growth from here is going to be
Well, it's going to
sky's the limit, really.
Yeah, it's going to explode. I mean, everybody's talking about it. You know, like I said, I've got friends here that I didn't even know were coming. It's made it all the way across the state, and it's a great event. And to get out here and get to see it, it's going to take off.
Yeah, guys, appreciate it.
thank you.
We'll see you on the trail.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Outdoors hunting big game. I come alive before opening day. It's a twisted addiction that calls my name. I gotta get inside. Outdoors hunting big game.
Keep up with IOTV on social media for all their latest news, tips, and giveaways.